Hello and welcome. It is Nomadic Shaman here. Thank you so much for visiting my page. Today's video is going to be centered around spiritual bullying as well as spiritual harassment. So, you are probably wondering, what is spiritual harassment? What is spiritual bullying? Before I get into that part, I wanted to share with you the definition I found online for harassment. Okay, so harassment covers a wide range of behaviors that are offensive in nature. It is behavior that demeans, humiliates, and intimidates a person. These are behaviors that appear to be disturbing, upsetting, or threatening. When these behaviors become repetitive, it is defined as bullying. Okay, so essentially it is perpetual action as well as perpetual unwanted advances that are meant to target an individual to break them down mentally, emotionally, physically, and in this case, spiritually, okay? And it's essentially you're bogarting one's boundaries as well as their no's and their consent. So, one example of spiritual harassment, let's say there's an individual who holds a powerful position and has spiritual authority. This individual will utilize sacred texts in a way where they are weaponizing it, okay? So, using the sacred text to degrade, manipulate, and control an individual. So, that's one example. Another example is actually hits closer to home as far as what I have personally encountered and experienced. So, what that would look like would be destiny swapping attempts, monitoring spirits, sex magic, as well as STDs, spiritually transmitted demons being sent. If I get more specific, some of those examples would be death rituals, okay, being sent, spiritual assassins being sent, as well as covens being appointed to do spell work on the hour, every hour. No exaggeration. I'm talking about they're taking shifts, okay? And if it's not drive-by spell work, it is burying things on the land and the ground, okay? As well as doing animal sacrifices and also doing work within the dream state and the astral, okay? Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think it's important for you all to know, anyone who has experienced this, anyone who is currently going through this, anyone who has yet to experience this, I'm here in a living testament to let you know that you will get through it. There is another side, the other side that you will get to. You will get through. Okay? And to remind you that to not allow what you may be experiencing to break you down to the point where you are tapping out. Okay, because this experience is meant to break you down to build you up and for you to recognize your own power. Which brings me to my next point. How does one overcome spiritual harassment, spiritual bullying? The first is going to be practicing strategic patience, okay? That's key. Now, while you're practicing strategic patience, you got to implement prayer and protection. Protection could be through the word, or it could be you utilizing and implementing protective rituals. It's up to you how you want to do it. But the reason why it's so important is that your spiritual hygiene needs to be on point. You need to be consistent. okay, with implementing your spiritual hygiene. Now, what will also help with this is to alchemize and transmute any of the negative energy, spell work, the negative spell work that's being sent to you, to transmute it. I have a video, I actually made 2 videos that goes into detail on how to alchemize and transmute negative energy or energy. Now, the key is for spell work, in order for it to be effective, specifically negative spell work, baneful magic, is it needs to be on the same vibration, of your wounds and your trauma. As you heal, as you grow, as you ascend, you are no longer in alignment with the spell work that has been sent. So therefore, it can no longer attach. Okay, this is key. This is why they say when it comes to spell work, you always want to raise your vibration. However, what's going to secure you raising your vibration on a consistent basis is through healing. Okay, it's through healing. 2 things before I go. There are 2 very powerful testimonies. One is by he was an ex-Satanist, ex-warlock before he turned his life over to Christ. Okay, I believe his name is James, a high-ranked African warlock who was about this life of what I actually had described, okay? But he was the antagonist, the villain, okay? There's another one, he goes by the name of John Ramirez. Check those out. They have 2 very powerful testimonies and interviews on YouTube, which will go into detail of what they do so that you are in a better position to protect yourself. Feel free, again, before I go, feel free to check out my videos on monitoring spirits, on sex magic, on STDs, as well as dismantling spell work, how to pray against witchcraft and spiritual warfare, and then also how to alchemize and transmute energy. I go in very detailed on all of those videos. Okay, so once you guys have that in your arsenal, you will be good to go. Okay. The one thing that I did want to mention is the overarching idea. I hate to say idea, but the whole overarching reasoning for you to be going through this is either, for one, for you to share your testimony to help others, or to train you to be in a position of leadership to usher others out of the wilderness based on what you have gone through. And which is why I felt the need to make the video today. So with that said, guys, I'm out. Feel free to comment, like, share, and follow. And until the next one.